Alright, so what's going on, everybody? It's Alan Thomas, aka Shadow Assassins, and today I'm talking about something that I touched on in a previous video, I think sometime last week, and that was my new project that I'm working on, which is my third webcomic. Now, I'm not going to be working on all three webcomics at the same time. I'm actually going to stop working on Afro Brainbuster for a while, and I'm sort of slowing down on Shadow Assassins. I'm not sure when I'll get back to Brainbuster, to be quite honest, and which, being honest, I didn't really take Brainbuster that seriously in the first place, but Shadow Assassins, I had a lot of issues with Shadow Assassins that I need to really work out, and I've been kind of burnt out from it for the last year and a half. Reasons that I'm burnt out with it are sort of why I'm doing my third webcomic in the first place. Part of my train of thought in doing this is because I know more now than I did 4 years ago when I first started Shadow Assassins, which was pretty much nothing. I thought I was ready to start a webcomic, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of Shadow Assassins and I like doing it, though I'm kind of tired of it right now, but I like it, but I'm sick of it at the exact same time. It's weird. But part of the reason why I'm even tired of it is the lack of planning that went into it. I sort of rushed the comic. If I could go back and change anything, it probably would have been, I think I would have waited a tad bit longer before I started Shadow Assassins, because I have three big issues as to why I'm sort of slowing down with it. And once I get to chapter 4, Shadow Assassins will be on hiatus, and that's because I have three problems. The story is, or not is, I may be able to handle it at this point. I'm just, like I said, I'm a little burnt out. But back in 2014, when I actually started creating the pages of Shadow Assassins, the story that I have for it is way too broad for where I was as an artist 4 years ago. Like, I was not ready to take on the task that I put on my shoulders. Way too broad of a story. Like I said, I'm in chapter 4 right now, and it's been a long chapter, as chapter 3 was also extremely long, and I'm nowhere near the end of the story. So that says a lot in and of itself, and it's my first webcomic, so yeah, I didn't plan that out very well at all. The other issue would be the actual setting of the comic, which is kind of a reason why the number 2 and number 3 problems are basically the settings and the actual quality of the comic itself. And it's really I didn't plan out the way that it looked. Like, I had no thought process whatsoever of how I wanted the comic to look, which is why it's sort of, the artwork is all over the place, which is the main thing that bothers me. It's not the fact that, because don't get me wrong, my first chapter of Shadow Assassins, I say my first 2 chapters look horrible. They're bad. As proud as I am of the comics, I'm also honest. Like, those are pretty low quality drawings, and part of that is because I spent so long working on a freaking story, I stopped drawing, which is why I've never fallen into that trap ever again, and I pretty much draw on a regular basis now to avoid that. But I lost my drawing ability in, like, between 2011 and 2014. Well, I'd say 2011 and like 2016, to be quite honest. But I just started drawing somewhere in like late 2014, just enough to get my drawing ability, or to get my pages of Shadow Assassins to look passable. And in hindsight, it still isn't, which should let you know, like, that's better from where I was, so that should let you know how my pages were originally looking when I first did them. But part of the reason for that was I had no idea how anything looked. That's why it was so hard to start drawing again, because not only could I not really get the images in my head to paper, but because I didn't really have an image in my head, like, everything is just jumbled. The way environments looked, I didn't really have those planned out, which is why sort of the setting of my comic is all over the place. There's just numerous issues with Shadow Assassins that needs to be worked out. I'm sort of contemplating in my mind after chapter 4 whether or not I'm gonna just continue on down the road from there, or if I'm actually just gonna stop Shadow Assassins and start over with the story anew again. I'm really not sure. I'm tossing that up in my head, but I'm not gonna completely quit on it. but I do need to rework some things with that. I need to almost start over with some stuff. But that's what's led me to working on my third webcomic. And also, I like the idea of working on a brand new comic and being able to really bring y'all along for the ride and show you the steps that I'm doing as I'm making the comic, so you pretty much see how I'm going about creating a webcomic on my own. There's little tips and stuff along the way and little pitfalls to avoid that I sort of fell into 4 years ago when I started my own webcomic. And pretty honestly, it's really about like 7 years ago, but whatever, who's counting numbers? But yeah, I'm really excited about my new webcomic. I actually have artwork for it, at least concept art for environments, which is something that I did not do at all with Shadow Assassins. I had no concept art for not a single piece of the environment for the story, nor did I have concept art for any characters outside of the main characters itself, which says a lot for my planning for this comic. But for the one that I'm working on right now, if you can even see that, if it'll show up on the screen, and I'll have video showing it soon enough. But that's sort of the concept art that I'm working on right now for my current webcomic. And this one I'm taking my time with. I'm not rushing it. I plan on creating a buffer, and a very substantial buffer, before I ever release this comic, which is something like my buffer caught up with me with Shadow Assassins in like the first 2 months, and I've never recovered from it. And no, we're talking like February or March of 2015, and I've never caught up since that point. With this, I plan on giving myself a lot of leeway and some time to sort of have my pages ahead of me. But I'm doing concept art right now for the environments, and I'm also doing character concept art. Those I'll show later on down the line. I'm still a lot of characters to work on, and I'm still fleshing some things out. And like I said, I plan on doing concept art for all of my characters. You don't necessarily have to do this if you make a webcomic, but just for my brain, this works best for me. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about this comic, and it's something I can really sink my teeth into. And it also has elements of both Afro Brainbuster and Shadow Assassins. It's almost like taking everything I've learned, all of my mistakes from my past 2 webcomics, and sort of making something better now. And because it's being well planned out this time around, I'm actually really excited about it. And I've been sitting on this idea for about a year now. I've wanted to work on a new webcomic, and I was tossing around whether I was going to wait on it or not, but a couple months ago I just said screw it, and I pretty much decided now that I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this. I'm looking at hopefully being able to get this out early 2019, if at all possible January. Actually, if possible, I like to get it by December, but that's pushing it, especially knowing that in a couple months it's October, and I love participating in the Inktober challenge, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to keep up drawing for Inktober and doing the amount of work that I need to do for my new webcomic and get it out by December. Once again, I'll be rushing like I did with Shadow Assassins, and I'll end up right back in the same situation. So, not doing that. So yeah, I'm looking at getting this comic out somewhere around January, February 2019. Like I said, fingers crossed for January. Did I just cross my fingers at all? Whatever. But hopefully I can get it out by January. And like I said, along the way, I'll have stuff to show you guys. Like I said, concept art, little story things that I'm working on, the way I develop and plan my stories, all that good stuff. That'll be coming out in a couple weeks. The coming weeks, actually the coming days, because I plan on showcasing some of my environments in the next couple of days. So that's what's going on with me, and that's the full update, follow up from what I had last week, just to let you know what's going on with my webcomics and everything therein, because I know it probably seemed crazy that I was announced last week that I was working on a third webcomic, which seemed kind of crazy at the time. Knew I was forgetting something, that's why I started babbling. I also have a tool that I've just created recently for, actually it's been helping me with my planning out little designs and stuff with my webcomic. Not really designs, but just something that's been helping me with Shadow Assassins in terms of like posing and putting just laying out my actual pages and whatnot, and just the actual look and feel of movement in my comics has helped me out a lot. And I plan on using this for my new webcomic. It actually, I've just took another look at it and it's helped me out tremendously already, and I haven't even started really making panels and stuff yet. So I'm actually going to talk about that in the next couple of weeks, because I plan on giving it to everybody pretty soon. And I've been working on this since about, I want to say like March or April. I actually talked about it the early part of this year, but I just recently finished it. And I plan on sharing it with you all soon, and hopefully this helps a lot of people. It's definitely helped me out. But yeah, something that I've been working on that I plan on sharing with you all, that if you're working on a webcomic, especially if it's like an action comic or anything like that, it'll help out a lot. But I'll talk about that more in the next couple days, hopefully the next couple weeks. But that's all. There's so many things that I'm working on right now, but I need to get back to work on what's going on back here. So I'll let you all get back to whatever you're doing. Y'all have a great day, and I'm out.